The floorboards beneath the old farmhouse groaned like whispers in the dead of night. It had been vacant for decades, sitting cold and hollow at the edge of the woods. Nobody dared to approach it, not after the rumors, not after what had happened to the last family that lived there. But tonight, the house hummed with a strange energy, a sinister pulse, as though the very ground it stood on breathed with unease. When Clara and her friends stumbled upon it that evening, the sun was already sinking below the horizon, painting the sky in rusty reds and bruised purples. They were just looking for a thrill, something to spice up the monotony of small-town life. A dare, a game. They didn't think it would be more than that. The air inside the house felt thicker, heavier, as if time itself had stopped within its walls. Dust particles floated like ghosts in the waning light. They joked, they laughed, but something about the floorboards caught Clara's eye. They didn't sit right. They were warped, bulging, as though pressed from below. And then came the smell, iron-rich, earthy, like blood and soil. "Guys, look," Clara called, her voice shaking. They huddled around her, staring at the sudden red bloom that seeped through the cracks between the wooden planks. Someone, Sam, always the brave one, knelt down to touch it, but his fingers barely grazed the surface when the floor beneath him shifted, splintering loudly. A wet tearing sound followed. The crimson liquid bubbled and swirled before their eyes like it had a mind of its own, spreading out and climbing the walls like roots, hungry, searching. Panic gripped them as they heard a low, guttural sound, something between a groan and a growl, emanating from deep below the floorboards. The roots twisted and lashed, forcing them to scatter. Clara ran, tripping and falling onto the warped boards. Beneath her, she saw movement, shapes of things writhing in the glowing depths. The floor seemed alive. It heaved unnaturally, each plank shifting like ribs over a creature's chest. The others screamed for her to get up, but when she finally did, something grabbed her ankle. Not human, not kind. They pulled her free, but the thing, whatever lived beneath them, was awake now. Fully awake. The floorboards exploded upward, jagged shards of wood flying as the bloodroots erupted in a chaotic frenzy, thicker and more monstrous. From the gaping wound in the floor, a vast, unholy darkness emerged, swirling with crimson veins, and within it, eyes. Too many eyes. One by one, Clara's friends were pulled into the abyss, screaming, struggling, vanishing into the unspeakable depths. Clara stood frozen, staring into the pit as a chilling realization crept over her. The roots weren't just alive, they wanted to feed, and they were ravenous. The house groaned again, louder this time, almost like a laugh. Clara ran, bursting out the front door, leaving splintered wood and blood-streaked roots behind her. But as she reached the edge of the property, the ground beneath her feet quivered. Something wet and red seeped out between blades of grass. The bloodroots didn't stay beneath the floor. They never do.